Russia isn't seeking peace. So what can the US do to stop the aggression? Valeriy Chaly, a seasoned diplomat, discussed the prospects for pressure on Russia at the Black Sea Security Forum 2025. In a break, he told Kyiv Post about what the next steps of the Trump administration are expected to be and what type of sanctions can stop Russia now.
Today, you used two words as speaking to your American colleagues: pessimistic and realistic. Why? They told a big expectations from Senate, from Trump, but you answered that I'm okay, guys, but I'm realistic. Okay, guys, but I'm pessimistic. Why?
Well, usually when we consider scenarios, usually it's like a search scenario: optimistic, pessimistic, and realistic. And you know my position, I'm repeat many times, that I not expect any significant changes from negotiations in summertime, because Russians and Putin personally will continue attacking us, and no doubts they will use this opportunity. So most of the optimistic expectation is the Saturday's ceasefire. But even in that case, it will not bring sustainable peace. So more realistic, if I'm saying this not for the first time, but it's for the second or third time with Russians during this full-scale invasion, they destroyed any opportunity for negotiation. So after that, it will fall. It will fault of these attempts. And after that, unfortunately, we go for the next months for the very intensive war, aggressive position. After that, I'm pretty optimistic that we will have window of opportunity next fall, in a case with conditions that's position in negotiations of Ukraine will be much higher. I mean, Ukraine receive more weapons from Europe, from the United States. We are also receive Ukrainians' final message from US about sanctions, from Europe about the frozen assets of Russia. This will be sent in to support Ukraine now, not in the future, and also counter the market price of the oil market price going down. If it's three companies will come, we will have Ukraine, will have position for negotiation and can come to the table, and Russians be under pressure to negotiate. So it's my expectation.
You had been an ambassador in the United States for several years. Why they're behaving in such a way now? So they're talking about 500% sanctions, but then nothing happens. Then they again talk about 500% of sanctions, but then nothing happens. And I think nothing will happen. Why? Why so?
First, allow me to disagree with most of Ukrainian commentators that Trump has pro-Russian position. No. It's in fact, it's that position closer to Russian narrative than to Ukraine. And Ukraine been under pressure of mediator in negotiations. That's true, but it doesn't mean that Mr. Trump keep pro-Russian position. He'd been really surprised if he mentioned to him, because he thinks this is most important for make America great again. And is it true? This is how he considers that and his take. It doesn't mean this next period he will not change his approach, not his personal approach, but approach of the White House. So today on this Black Sea Security Forum in Odesa, many American speakers, they are friends of Ukraine, and former ambassadors, congressmen, admiral. So everybody that's mentioned optimistic scenario, as my good friend Ambassador Taylor, they want to push their authority. They want to push not only public opinion, but also steps by the authorities in the United States. They're not only just commentators, it's people who is active in the internal politics in the US. I don't want to interfere in their politics. I think Mr. Trump, one, I can say that because I work with him, as you mentioned, and we received little weapons during his period. he can frustrate it from the position of Russia and Putin position. He can in the future make a step back as mediator position, and open opportunities in the United States. I mean, now we do not have green light from the White House for these sanctions, new sanctions. So it is possible, but even in the case, you ask why they're not implemented. Because they use sanctions like a tool to push Putin before introduction. This, from my point of view, is wrong way. It demonstrates weak position. So my position, and I many times advise Americans or give them our perception, please go move forward to make that, to implement sanctions. In that case, Putin be more ready to negotiate. So I believe frankly, I do not believe they will change strategy in this war. But I do believe this Mr. Trump can allow doing some things that is now impossible because Americans in White House, advisors to Mr. Trump, he by himself said we can't do it because we are in negotiation. How we can do it is we mediator. If it's not, so it's interesting. But my perception, my take, if personally Mr. Trump makes step back or back out the mediation position, it would be good for Ukraine.
But Russians are trying to hold him by making these so-called meetings in Istanbul and
so-called because it's not imitation of the negotiation. There's not true negotiation. It's a negotiation that's lead for not for conclusion, not for sustainable peace, and Russians know that. They try to keep United States and Mr. Trump in the same time to continue aggressive approach in the offensive operation. It is impossible to be in the negotiation and continue offensive operation. So it must be stopped. I believe it will be stopped next week, and we will see new position by the Congress, because not only sanctions but also kidnapping case now in the Congress. We also have seen many new piece of legislation introduced 2 months ago, so support Ukraine. And probably we will see like a festival of the success of the congressman, congresswoman, because now nothing, zero. Why? Because they are waiting just green light from White House.
What sanctions can be implemented against Russia? The fact is that United States and Russia, they are not trade partners, and they were not. The amount of their partnership in trade is too small. But so 500% sanctions against whom? We see that Trump's step back in the question of tariffs against China. So is it possible?
It's a very right question, and you answer on your question. It is not about trade with U.S.-Russian trade, no. It is about sanctions on energy sector. The buying Russian oil for the third countries. Why American can do it? Because American can implement sanctions against banks who Russian use for the paying money for the oil, and you know all this selling oil it's a market, and selling oil it's in dollars. So U.S. have a great opportunity to stop or prevent any other deals with other countries with Russian oil and gas. And for the next year, in that case, Russia will have less money for the war. If it's happened, and if Saudi Arabia continue to sell the same amount of oil that's today for 3, 4, 5 months, it means that Russia will have probably the amount of money for war dropping twice for the next year. This is significantly change. This could bring Russia to negotiation, real negotiation. And these sanctions,
but it means the next trade war with China, for example.
It's not about trade. It's not about trade. Once again, it's about deals with Russian oil. And I expect that this will be on bank system, Unfortunately, not only every Russian bank is prohibited from SWIFT system now. Now we speak about secondary sanctions. There's secondary sanctions also. So I don't know which package will be implemented, by the way, because we have Senate draft, we have 2 drafts from House, and this will be like a combination of these drafts. So we should wait for the final decision. And I can answer for your question, which type of sanctions finally they will include in this legislation.